So my whole thing is with Shannon Sharpe, bro, like, what is he, 56, 57?
Something like that.
So the girl that, this allegation is happening with, like, he met her, she was 19.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago.
She's an OF model.
Mm-hmm.
You too old, bro. Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, all these professional athletes that have, stumbled or fallen short of whatever it is, he's given great advice,
right.
over the years. And there comes a point where you got to practice what you preach, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's put himself in a position early where it seems like he's not operating from a level of self-control in a lot of instances. Everybody, welcome back to the Get Busy Podcast. That's your man's B. Jones.
And that's your other man's Izzy.
What up, man? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I almost burnt this shirt because the Browns was playing around during the draft. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't get him, huh?
Listen, I was on the phone with my homeboy, Sir, and I was venting. I was like, you know what I'm saying? We was like 4 rounds in. I'm like, bro, Shedeur Sanders was the talked about quarterback the whole season. You ain't hear about none other person
at all.
You know what I'm saying? We need a quarterback. We ain't had a quarterback since Bernie Kosar.
Yeah.
That's back before I had a beard or any hair anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Except or any birth. Wait, was he even alive?
No, I was live. Yeah, I met him. I went to the Cleveland Browns camp when I was a kid, got his autograph.
Oh.
Yeah, I had
just
the picture.
An old name.
Yeah. I had the picture way back in the day. I don't know what happened to it, but you know what I'm saying? We ain't had a solid quarterback since then. We finally got one, and you know what I'm saying? We sitting there playing games round after round, and I was getting heated, bro. And then when we drafted that quarterback from Oregon, I'm like, who is this clown? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And so you start hearing all the rumblings that a lot of teams didn't want to take a chance on Shedeur,
yeah,
because because of Dion.
A lot that comes with it.
Or because his swagger. So what? Did we not like winning?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it because he's cocky? I don't care if you can ball, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the thing that's crazy, man, because all these sports have proven that cockiness really doesn't matter if they got the right level of talent. You know what I'm saying? So then I don't know, but I was kind of mad when the Giants didn't get him when he was there at number 3. And I was like, yo, this is your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Because they really don't really rock with black quarterbacks like that. They got Russell Wilson now, kind of the first time ever.
I think I sent you a video.
You might have.
It was something about they was trying to avoid drafting because you kept saying it, and in this video I was like, oh, he gonna love this. I sent it to you. Just look in your phone.
Yeah, I'll check it, man. So I completely I'll never root for the Giants ever again. It's a done deal. That ship is sailed. It's over with.
You and my homeboy Brian, y'all, he from New York. He's diehard Giants. I didn't talk to him about what he thought about the draft. I heard y'all grade was really high. Y'all did a really
and
good.
and the guy that we drafted was a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So but man, when you have a level of talent, you know what I'm saying, that's there, and there was no question he was arguably the first, at the very least, the second best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, I think
without question.
Yeah, for sure. So I think Cam Ward everybody was like, that's the absolute best
consensus
draft.
Yeah.
But it couldn't have happened any better for the team because you got Shedeur, you got him on the team.
Yeah.
But you were able to get
everything
all the other
else
draft picks. You traded down, got more draft picks for next season. So for the Browns, this worked out really well. For me, they still got him.
Yeah.
And so
a lower tag too. So
for a lower tag, and then he gets to beat out the other dude.
Yeah.
I just want to see him have a great career. Hopefully he stays with the Browns his whole career.
Well, I just hope that he really kicks in the door. You know what I'm saying? And does tremendous because
waving the fofo.
Yeah, man. He has I think where people got rubbed the wrong way is because he's been ingrained with that Dion level of confidence, AKA brashness or cockiness, but he doesn't have the Dion level of talent. You know what I'm saying?
Not yet. But tell me, What team had the most receivers get drafted this year? Do you know?
No,
I do. It was Colorado. Who was throwing them the ball?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
I mean, he was great.
Look,
you can't even argue with it.
The teller of the tape will tell you. You know what I'm saying?
And the work ethic is there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you can't have a better like mentor than the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
And so he's prepared for the spotlight. Like, he's not going to buckle under the pressure. Like, all of those things that you got to really think about from young quarterbacks, he's going to excel at. And so I just didn't understand what the real problem was. But that's that good old boy system. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you rub one person the wrong way, sometimes you got to. Yeah. That's the problem. But anyway.
We'll see what happens, man. But, I'm happy. Like I said, I'm happy he got drafted. I'm happy to see that he was happy he got drafted.
Yeah.
And so
he handled it really well too. Like
he did.
Yeah.
So if there was any like cockiness or anything about him that would be a negative, that should like bring him down to a,
Yeah, it should have humbled him a little bit, gave him a little bit of that humble pie.
So, but yeah, man, we trying to win over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing? What we doing? So, go Browns. Also, go Falcons. Those are my two NFL teams. So I think I'm excited about the Falcons this season. You know what I'm saying? We got our quarterback locked in.
Yeah, Penix looked good last year. Like, I was really actually impressed with him. Yeah,
all the stuff I heard about him. Oh, so I was upset that the whole the prank call that Shador got.
Yo, from the defensive coordinator's son or whatever, bruh. Listen. I don't know how old this kid is, but I would put hands on either one of my sons. You know what I mean? Like they catching it.
Right, putting my job in jeopardy.
And my career, not just my job here. You know what
I'm saying?
Yeah, everywhere. But like going forward. You know,
So hopefully he got a really good punishment, something. You know what I'm saying? That is crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. So, but anyway, man, what's been going on with you?
Man, just life, man. Everything is we coming up on the end of the school year. Kids had like all these different types of standardized tests and everything that they've been doing the last couple of weeks, and so just getting through that work's been cool. The business is right on like the right on the edge of some newness that's coming our direction. You know what I'm saying? So
that sounds good.
It is. It's great. As a matter of fact, man. Just a lot of stuff, man. And I had a play last weekend, so everything's kind of coming, to a head to settle down for a little while. Once the summer kicks into gear.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I got my niece that's graduating from college out in Texas, so I'm looking forward to that. Going to see all my siblings. And,
yeah.
So it's just kind of grind style, man. Mom's is having good days and bad days with her rehab, and so she's expecting after having, extreme spinal surgery that she was just going to jump back in the saddle and, be right back at it. And so she has like really good days. And then there's some days where it's like she can't maneuver the way she wants to, and it's real frustrating for her. So just trying to be there for her with that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Prayers up to Miss Haskell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's strong, man. She's going to be all right. She's got to be consistent.
Gotcha. So yeah, bro, what are we talking about today?
Yo, man, so man, it's a lot that's been going on in the world,
Sure.
a lot of hot topics right now.
Yeah.
Your boy Shannon Sharpe got caught up with another one.
Uncle Shay.
So he got caught up with a civil SA charge, That's very serious allegations that could also lead to, some criminal things as well.
Yeah.
He recused himself, basically he voluntarily left ESPN for a little while.
Yeah.
Sitting, waiting for the dust to clear and see what happens with this case. Basically, I think the bosses told him like, hey, either you can do it yourself or we can do it for you,
That's how it usually goes.
Yeah. But also, we got to think about it from their standpoint. Like, they went after him, okay, because of his platform, because of what it is that he's making. And so I think they're kind of actually not just saying it, but they're actually hoping that it slides. Because, and the reason why I say that is like, they're probably sitting back waiting. Okay, his podcast didn't take any hits. He still got those numbers. Oh, okay. And the charges are dropped or taken care of. Okay, let's get back because you can't miss this amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that did a lot less with ESPN, and they just gave the axe to. You know, Paul Pierce was on there. You know,
Shout out to Paul Pierce.
Had people in the background. He was drunk. You know, they just gave him the axe. You know, he had some strippers or something in the background, whatever it was. I don't know. It was crazy.
Wasn't nobody stripping though. You know
No, not at all. He was just talking reckless.
Yeah.
But there was no serious allegations, you know.
Yeah, nothing. So, but seeing that happen, man, and you're on that platform, you gotta move in a certain fashion. But like, so my whole thing is with Shannon Sharpe, bro. Like, what is he? 56, 57?
Something like that.
He's
in his mid to late 50s.
Right.
He's after 55, whatever it is.
So the girl that, this allegation is happening with, like, he met her, she was 19.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago.
She's an OF model. You too old, bro. Like,
yeah, at the end of the day, that's
okay.
exactly
I'm skipping over for this 1 second, like, Bible right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to Bible in a second.
Yeah,
but like,
just being real.
Just on some real, like, man stuff, man, you need to have like real people in your life that's going to tell you, hey, cuz 19, 20.
Like, what are we doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't cool. That's not, because whether this turns out, and I really hope that this turns out to be just like a money grab, you know what I'm saying? The phone call was AI or something, but either way, which, I mean, these days you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? That technology is real. I'm not saying, so I'm not going either direction. I'm just hoping like he didn't do what it said that he did.
Yeah.
But like, bro, just as, not even as a brand, but just as a man, like, cause he's the type of dude, he gives like a lot of advice.
Yes.
And it's pretty solid advice, but like just the way we look at you as a man now, it's different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got some deficiencies that you really need to, you got to take care of that stuff, bro.
Take care of it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause the way you living and running around, like, you know what I mean? It's just not, it's not cool.
And so I didn't notice the signs at first, but man, Cat Williams was on the show, last January 24 and told him that like, hey, you're about to be at a whole different level, and the vultures are going to be out basically. This is going to catapult you to a new stratosphere, and it's going to be more than you ever experienced. And like you said a second ago, man, he's been giving people advice. He was on the Skip and Shannon Undisputed, you know what I'm saying, for years. All these professional athletes that have, stumbled or fallen short of whatever it is, he's given great advice, over the years. And there comes a point where you got to practice what you preach, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he's put himself in a position early where it seems like he's not operating from a level of self-control in a lot of instances.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really take note of it when he got at the Memphis Grizzlies team. You know what I'm saying? When he and T. Morant were going back and forth, and it seemed like they were about to start fighting at the Lakers game. I was like, okay, maybe that's a one-off. He apologized about it, on air and talked about it, how he's got to do better. Yeah. Okay, cool. Hey, people get riled up. And then there was the allegations with another audio tape that came out, that was just him, experiencing, whoever his partner was at the time. And then he had to come back and apologize about that to ESPN and Stephen A. and, talked about the team. And then you get caught up with this again. It's like, at some point, you got to learn, you know what I'm saying? Or you have to like get to a place where you're in control of the things that you need to be in control of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't know what the catalyst is behind it. Maybe it's alcohol. Maybe it's this. Maybe I don't know. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, you got to figure it out.
Yeah. It shows that because Shannon Sharpe, like just as like a 57-year-old man, like he has everything that a man that age can possibly like want.
100%.
Right? So it's a good looking dude.
Yep.
You got the muscles, Hall of Fame career.
Hall of Fame.
Gift of gab.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Successful sports shows, successful podcasts. Two of them. Liquor.
Yep.
Style, even though some of the tight pants he's being in clown for. But like for the most part, like still got all his hair.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Still got the waves. Like he's got everything that you could want.
Physically.
Yes.
Material-wise.
Material-wise. Even like personality, like fun to be around.
Seems like it. Yep.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it just goes to show like it doesn't matter when you got deficiencies and things in your soul
Yes.
that are broken, like that stuff is not going to cover it, but for, for so long, you know what I'm saying? Like the stuff in the recording he was saying to the girl, like what, you know what I'm saying? Like what type of conversations can you, as you in your mid 50s to late 50s talking to like a 20-year-old, like what do y'all have in common? Like, you know what I'm saying? It sounds crazy, bro.
It does.
You know what I'm saying?
And like, see, that's the thing where like money can't buy you happiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was a OF, model or whatever. And you're looking to fill something, and you're throwing dollars at it, Some of the text messages that he released, she was talking about how much money he would have to pay for this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And it's like, to your point, you have everything it is that you could ever want, the cars, the planes, the clothes, the vacations, the, traveling, the food, the whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you're still searching for something, you know what I mean? And you're throwing dollars at it. And that's what you were saying earlier. Like, he gives all this advice to everybody else. John Morant, you need to, get some people in your corner on your team that's going to keep you and hold you accountable. Man, you need to be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think he's genuinely trying to help people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's sincere what he's saying, but like one thing could be true and then you could have a whole nother situation going on, living like a different way than what you're giving.
The advice that you're giving.
Yeah.
Like it's do as I say, not as I do, because then as soon as it's easy to say that when the microscope isn't on you and when nobody else sees, what it is that's in your closet.
Yeah.
But then when you realize you just look like a hypocrite, you know? And that's kind of the position that he's put himself in at this point. Because like now he's looking, it's very hypocritical to say, hey, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. The Bible says, man, get the speck out of your own eye get the plank out of your own eye before you talk about the speck in somebody else's, man.
For sure.
You literally, so it's just interesting, man. But it's kind of a sad situation. I don't feel bad for him because you make your own bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but in the context of that, like I feel sorry for people that are searching. You know what I'm saying? And he claims that he has a relationship with the Lord. So I hope that, that develops and starts to begin to mature a little bit, get him in a better spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like you said, you can't, at 56 years old, she doesn't know the TV shows you grew up with. She doesn't know the music that you listen to. You don't know the music that she listens to.
Yeah.
She, you know what I mean? There's no common ground outside of like perhaps the bedroom or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, what else is there?
Right. So, and a lot of people, and he's from the South, deep South country. So everybody grew up knowing Jesus, but it's like, it's one thing, he had his, grandma, mother, people tell, it's one thing to know of the Lord, and it's another thing to know the Lord for yourself.
To have an intimate relationship.
Yeah.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like to me, just based on actions and, how you live in, and, you know what I'm saying? Again, and I give grace to people in that situation. Same thing like when Kobe went through his thing. Like when you have like the money and access, you know what I'm saying? Like we all have a like propensity to sin. Yeah. But like
that's our nature.
Yeah, we have a sin nature. And so when you have like the means to like push that sin boundary,
yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's different than somebody who doesn't, like a regular person like myself.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I'm not talking down on his situation because I do feel bad for him. I feel bad for her too, just because of the fact that, I'm sure like her dream wasn't to be a OF model. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
something went left somewhere along the lines.
Something went left along the lines. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them girls didn't have the father figure that loved them. So, they looking for older men, or they looking for, the money to fulfill this, this God-shaped hole or this dad-shaped hole that they got in their soul. Value. Yeah, man. And those people typically, like when they get older and things start to sag and skin get wrinkled, like you ain't got that, man, you just a mess of a person. You know what I'm saying? Just a shell of a person. So yeah.
The one thing that I just, want to kind of advise folks and kind of maybe warn people of is that our sin will make room for our demise. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no finish line. There's no cutoff point. Like, oh, okay, I've done enough. There is, but that's usually when it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or maybe not too late, because there's no too late point for Christ, right?
For sure.
But it's when you've hit some wall. It's when something's been taken. It's when there's been some level of demise, right? When if you're an alcoholic, you know, you're losing your job, or maybe your family. If you're addicted to drugs, you're in jail. You know, whatever the situation is that's got you caught up to a point where you don't have control over that thing.
Yeah.
And also that the more that you feed it, the bigger and worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And a lot of times when we come to that, the demise part, a lot of the times that's God's mercy, because let's say this situation didn't happen, he's just gonna keep on going and going and going. It's like, what is it that you're trying to like get from this girl? Where let's just say like the essay did take place, but y'all was already in a physical relationship, so you're getting what you want. But what is this thing that's more that you got to like push it?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? And is that ever going to stop? If God doesn't stop it, or if something doesn't fall, like you're just going to keep going, you know what I'm saying? To, you know, something really bad happens. Like right now it's just your money and your reputation was on the line. But man, some of this stuff will lead to your life being on the line. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So,
and or hers, you know what I'm saying? And then that's, you know, and that's the part. You know, like I'm sure Diddy didn't start out where he finished off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It started at one place, and then it snowballs.
Started as a kid working hard to get in the music biz, talented, pushing to the limit, and then you find success. You keep finding more success. Then you celebrating yourself. Everybody's celebrating you, and it just gets out of hand.
It's a slippery slope, man, and that's how it is when it comes to sin. It's a slippery slope. And like we are given choices, and I think it's a lot easier to get back on the right path the earlier you recognize that you're going down the wrong path. But the more you go down that path, you know, the more slippery it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so just man, it's so important to keep the right people around you, like you were saying, you know, folks that's able to actually speak into your life and actually check you. And a lot of times that's not what people want, especially when you get to that level of success. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So I was watching on Lecrae's podcast, he interviewed Will Smith. And Will Smith said this thing that was very interesting. Same thing you told me that Shia LaBeouf has said. So he said, I wish that everybody could get the level of money that they want, just so they can see that it's not what you think it is. Because if you ain't got it, you just don't know. You look at celebrities and these athletes, and they got everything, and you think life is a certain way, even though we see that their lives fall apart too. Will Smith, Shia LaBeouf, I think Jim Carrey said the same thing. It's like, I wish that the common man could like get everything they wanted in life, and when they get to that end, they see like, okay, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Like this is not. There's no happiness at the end of this rainbow. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be. You got to get it from somewhere else.
Yeah, because to that point, like most people are dealing with some level, you know, unless you've got extraordinary level of finances, right? You're dealing with some sort of issues that finances could make better, right? And so until you get to a place of financial freedom and then beyond, you're not actually able to understand it because your bills are weighing and stressing you. You know what I'm saying? Or the medical situation that you need to handle, or your car is broken, whatever it is, you know what I mean, that people face. And so we always look at money as being the fixer of problems. But we look at the external problems as actually being the problem. Once you find contentment within, you know what I'm saying, that's really ultimately where that happiness comes from. And but you're not going to get it in things, man. And I think that's, you know, back to the Bible, and that's where Jesus comes into the picture. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because, man, so it's funny. I had a homie that I used to work with at Papado. His name's James King. Shout out James. And he was working, you know, doing his thing. He used to be in the military back in the day. And he's making money over here. And he had some friends that we were working with also that were Dominican. And man, one of their sisters actually still lives in the DR, and he went over there, and they live in like a town that's outside of the big city. You know, you got to take like a bike to get you drive to a particular point, take a bike, in further, and then you got to kind of walk, right?
Okay.
He's like, man, they got, electricity that's on for a particular time during the day. They got Wi-Fi for a particular time during the day, but they grow everything. There's fruits everywhere. There's goat, there's fishing, there's chickens, you know what I'm saying? That's how they eat. And he was like, yo, they have so much less than what we have over here, but they're so much happier. Everybody, they're so much happier with the less because they're comfortable with who they are. It doesn't have to do with the what that they have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that's a very big thing especially with people in America. Like, we are so bombarded with desire that it's hard for us a lot of times to actually be content because our mind is saturated with images and with the lust and with the desires of things that, look fancy and look shiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Man, so I want to read this verse. And this comes from Proverbs, the book of wisdom. This 100%. Is Proverbs chapter 7. I'm going to read the whole chapter. So, all right. So it says, my son, keep my words and treasure my commands within you. Keep my commands and live, and my law as the apple of your eye. Bind them on your fingers, write them on the tablet of your heart. Say to wisdom, you are my sister, and call understanding your nearest kin, that they may keep you from the immoral woman, from the seductress who flatters with her words. For at the window of my house I looked through the lattice, and I saw among the simple, I perceived among the youths, a young man devoid of understanding, passing along the street near the corner, and he took the path to her house, in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. And there a woman met him with the attire of a harlot and a crafty heart. She was loud and rebellious. Her feet would not stay at home. At times she was outside, at times in the open square, lurking at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him. With an impudent face, she said to him, I have peace offerings with me. Today I have paid my vows. So I come out to meet you diligently to seek your face, and I have found you. I have spread my bed with tapestry, colored coverings of Egyptian linen. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us delight ourselves with love, for my husband is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him, and he will come home on the appointed day. With her enticing speech, she caused him to yield. With her flattering lips, she seduced him. Immediately he went after her as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till an arrow struck his liver. As the bird hastens to the snare, he did not know it would cost his life. Now, therefore, listen to me, my children. Pay attention to the words of my mouth. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray into her paths, for she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending to the chambers of death.
Okay, so that's as real as it gets.
Yeah, bro.
That's as real as it gets. And basically, it just goes to show, like, if you're not operating from a place of wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not operating from a place of like, and look, the Lord says that he gives wisdom to those that ask for it, freely given.
Right.
But we can get caught up with that type of situation. I think about Samson also. Mm-hmm. You think about these situations, you see how, like, even with the Shannon Sharpe situation, and again, I'm praying for Shannon Sharpe and for the lady involved.
Yeah.
You say to yourself, like, man, how could you get caught up? How could you not see the pitfalls? How could you not see the traps? You know what I mean? Yeah. But the same thing with Samson. It's like, how could you continue to go back to Delilah when you know that she's trying to kill you? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing that we all do. Anybody that's caught up in whatever the sin is that they're struggling with, like whatever you're difficulty is, if it's the P word, if it's, you know, drinking, if it's food, if it's, you know, overworking, whatever it is, you do it and you do it and you do it because that's what you're comfortable with. That's what your desire ultimately is, right? You're chasing your desire. And at the end of the day, if you keep chasing your desire, that arrow's going to get you in the heart. You know,
gonna get you.
Yeah. You know, all that being said, look, nobody's better than anybody else. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of the Lord.
Yeah.
And so the key to the situation is there's no time that's too late to get right. And I think that's the ultimate message of this whole situation, because sometimes we find ourselves, you know, facing some very serious things that we made some pretty hard beds, right?
Yeah.
And it can be scary when it gets to that place. You know, you're facing, you know, job loss, or you're facing marriage loss, or, you know, kids are doing one thing, or whatever it might be, you know, whatever it could be. And even in those moments, we still serve a God that's bigger than whatever our problem is.
Yeah.
And can get us back to a place of not only reconciliation and redemption, but to growth and maturity and graduation from the sin that we've been dealing with.
Yeah, man. So, you know, just like the word says, man, you got to watch out for the immoral woman, or women, watch out for the immoral man. And, bro, like, stay away from the things that try to entice you to do wrong. And so, you know, one of the things I do, I actually pray, like, whenever I know my heart's going in the wrong direction, I'm like, Lord, I'm thinking about this. Like, I want to do this. Like, these thoughts, because everything starts
with thoughts
in the thought process. And that's why, you know, the Bible says to renew your mind daily, so you don't even get to the action part. So, you know, pray to God, like, Lord, please help me renew my mind. Help me in just whatever area that you know that you need help in. Just ask God to help you with that. Put people around you that, you know what I'm saying, will tell you the truth. You know what I'm saying? Whenever when you're slipping, you know what I'm saying?
And one other thing, real quick, man, shout out to the homie George Swain. He said that, he's like, man, I told my kids this, you know, if there's something that you're doing and you don't want anybody to ever find out that you're doing it, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
It's just as simple as that, man.
I was like, damn, that's actually wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
George Swain, shout out to you, homie. Long time no see, bro. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So other than that, Joe, look, everybody, man, we definitely appreciate you guys watching. Continue to watch, like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, you know, share the messages, share the videos, and leave some comments, because we thrive off of that. So, man, we love you.
Love
Until
y'all.
next time, man, get busy.
Get busy. Peace.